Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever I find you. This video today is not going to be for newbies. It is going to be for you if you have been playing with human design for quite some time and you're really quite practiced at following your strategy and your inner authority. Maybe you have also laid in tapping and you're using tapping to meet the discomfort and the tension and all the things, and you're still going, shit, this is hard. What do I do? Right? So this video today, this topic came about because of a session I did with a client last week. I don't know what day we're at. We're still in the soup of January's weird energy, sometime in the last week. And what I noticed with this client that I have done before and I have seen other people do before, and in case you're doing it, I want to call it out so you can do something more helpful, supportive, that's going to work better. And that is where we can look to a tool like human design or tapping or both or any other tool and go, please be a magic wand. Like the answer must be in here somewhere, right? Now, what I observed in this client is that they, I'm never going to share any details whatsoever about client sessions, except to say that this person was between a rock and a hard place, which is why I've called it this. I wasn't quite sure what to call this live, so that's what we're calling it. And they are doing a lot. They're in a situation that is very, very difficult. Maybe you also have something that's happening in your life that's very, very difficult, and it's not going to get resolved quickly or easily. It's a situation that's running on for a long period of time and requires more resources, requires more help, which is why she had booked a session. And what can happen is that when we have used a tool or learned about a tool like human design or tapping and gone, oh man, this is so helpful and it's helped me in this part of my life and this part of my life and this part of my life, we can keep going back to those same tools, even though we're using them and they're integrated, and go, surely if I just look a bit harder, like the answer must be in there somewhere. And I'm remembering something that a guy said to me in Bali like 11 years ago or something. And he said, Carolyn, what got you here won't get you there. And it was a reminder that sometimes even the best tools are not the right solution to the problem in front of us. So if you are somebody who, like me, loves human design, maybe you love tapping, maybe you're using them and you're integrating them and you're going, but surely there must be something else in here. Maybe there's more I need to learn about my chart, or there's more tapping on beliefs that I need to do. But you already feel like you're doing a pretty good job of using them. I want to encourage you, as strange as this sounds on a channel where I talk about human design and tapping and weaving them together, if you're this person, this is only going to apply to a small group of you, but it felt really important to speak to. If you are that person, I want you to just imagine for a moment, and I'm going to give you 3 really useful things to lean on instead, to just go, what if I need something else? What if there's an additional source of medicine that I could use beyond human design and or tapping that's really freaking obvious and easy and free? What if? Right? I want to give you an example of this. What if you're feeling really tired and you're like, yeah, but I slept pretty well and I've eaten lots of veggies and lots of clean protein, and I've been out and I've put my feet on the ground and I've soaked up some sunshine and I've patted my puppy dog and I've talked to my neighbors and I've got good social interactions. You're like, oh, maybe I just need to do more of all those things. Well, have you done any exercise? Maybe the reason you're tired is because you need to move your body. So can you see how the veggies and the clean protein are great, and the sunlight and the feet on the ground are great, and the social connections are great, but there might be something else you need. So only you are going to know if you are somebody who has already used human design and really integrated it into your life. If you are somebody who is really practiced at using tapping little bits every day, or like as often as stuff comes up that wants to be moved through, but maybe there's something over here that you need. So I'm going to talk about 3 things over here that you can do. And on my little list there, they're all free or options for how you might spend resources. That means you're not going back and looking at the same things again and again, thinking that you're missing something. Now, again, just to be really clear, if you're fairly new to my channel, to human design, to tapping, to putting those things together, this video is not for you, because there is so much value and gold in those 2 bodies of work alone, let alone together. Which is why I keep working with them more than 10 years later for both of them, because they're profound. This video is only for you if you're like, yeah, but I'm doing those things. Like, am I missing something? Like, where's my magic wand? Let me look deeper at the chart. Let me just tap on some more limiting beliefs. Maybe that'll solve the problem. Only you will know if this is what you need. So the 3 things that we're holding space for over here. Number 1, if you are in this position where you feel like you are in between a rock and a hard place, and you are like pulling your hair out thinking, I should do more of these. And you know that there's no easy solution in sight. If you are not doing these 3 things, I want to encourage you to lean into them. So number 1 is to ground. Now, I mean that both in the literal sense of putting your feet on Mama Earth. At some point, I will do way more on the power of this and how much it has changed my life. But if you are not regularly putting your feet on the ground, on the grass, on the dirt, on the sand at the beach or somewhere else, like, this will be incredibly helpful and recharging. But what I also mean beyond that in terms of grounding is grounding into the familiar. So if things feel really big and you have a lot that you're carrying mentally, emotionally, the more you can ground into everything around you that is totally normal, mundane, familiar. I see a podcast microphone. I see my crystals. I see the lamp. I see a gift I was given when I was born that lives on my shelf here, right? Like, orienting into, grounding into what feels completely normal, mundane, familiar is going to help you, your whole nervous system, to like downregulate a little bit, to relax a little bit, which is going to help you cope with this situation of being between a rock and a hard place. So that's number 1. Number 2 is connection. And what I mean by connection is kind connection. Ideally, like, level 1 of this is connection with humans. So that means, can you have kind connections, social engagement, conversations with your spouse, your children, your flatmates, your neighbor, your the barista at the coffee shop across from where you work, anyone, the person who serves you at the supermarket? Like, kind interactions. Can you deliberately sink into and seek out and take the opportunity to connect with people who you know are generally kind, generally compassionate, funny, curious, lighthearted? The people who say, hey, good to see you, as they walk past, or they like shout out of the car window at you when they see you, or they have a big smile when you walk into their shop to do whatever the thing is that you're going to do in their store. And along with that means like avoiding the people who are really draining, or like massively limiting the time that you spend with them, and prioritizing spending time with the people who are generally cheery and optimistic. Now, that's layer 1 with people. If you don't feel like you have a lot of those people, or you can't spend a lot of time interacting with those people, can you do the same with pets, with animals of any kind? Can you Do it by hanging out in the garden. Let the plants love on you. Can you go for a bushwalk or a walk in the forest? Can you let the trees love on you? Can you notice how much you love them? Be in kind connection with nature. Can you do the same at a river or the ocean or any body of water if you're a water baby? Can you do it in the mountains? Like, can you do that with nature? And if any or either of those options feel difficult, or you want more kind connection on top of that, I highly recommend either buying for yourself or getting from the library some really empowering, loving, beautiful books. You know, those ones with beautiful pictures, children's books, because most adults' books are like way too serious, where they say really kind things about all of the different ways that you are loved, or, like Winnie the Pooh, like really lovely children's books that are just so sweet that you would want to read to a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6-year-old, and read them to yourself. Read them for yourself, because that's another way that you can be in kind connection with the author who poured their love into that book. Okay, number 3 is to ask for help. Now, what can happen is when we are in a difficult situation, some people can think, well, I should just be trying harder, or it's not that difficult, other people have it worse than me. And what can happen is we just think that we should knuckle down harder, that we should be stronger, that we should be better, that we should be coping better. And if you're already doing so many of the right things, that if I or another person was to come and look at your life and go, yep, they're ticking this box and this box and this box and this box, and like they seem to be doing all the right things. They seem to be doing reasonable, practical, sensible things to do what they need to do to take care of their responsibilities, but also to take care of themselves. If you still feel like you're drowning, ask for fucking help. Ask for help. You are allowed to be supported. You're allowed to be supported. And you're allowed to ask for help. It makes me quite teary when I think about it. And I think that's because I think about the times when people have held me in such kindness when I have been drowning. And it is so incredible to be held. And when I do the same for my clients, when they feel like they're drowning in a particular situation, not literally drowning, I'm not that great at swimming, but drowning in emotions, great with that. Holding space for that. It is just such a privilege for me to hold space for somebody who is friggin' paddling as hard as they can. And we're not supposed to do this on our own. We're not supposed to live in tiny boxes in nuclear families, isolated from each other, where we have only our meaningful conversations through a camera, through a screen. Like, we're supposed to be in meaningful connection with each other on a regular basis and help each other. Like, that's the nature of being mammals. We are social creatures. So if you are doing all the right things and you haven't asked for help, then just ask. You know, is it asking your neighbor to put the bin out so there's one less thing that you have to do? Or is it making sure that you book your next call with your, like, next session with your therapist? Is it booking a session with me? Is it like doing any number of those other things? You know, asking a family member to do something. Like, what can you take off your plate? And it will be easier for you to have the courage to do that if you're somebody who's not so great at asking for help. If you ask for little things, that would be a really easy yes for the other person. And or, I had a thought, where did it go? That you ask people who you feel pretty confident that they're going to say yes. And like part of that is booking in for services that already exist, you know. So I think they're the key things that I wanted to share this morning. It felt really important to share that. I know it is like, it sort of speaks to something that I said last year on the channel of there is so much that I can teach you that is helpful, that goes beyond the very useful boxes of human design and tapping. So I'm going to allow myself to just express those. But if you found this video helpful today, give it a thumbs up or share it with somebody who you feel like would benefit from this. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.